Hello guys and welcome to Rage Against the Dice. Today we've got an interview that I did as a Skype call with Karl from Crooked Dice, who produce 7TV and Zombie TV, and they also do another one. I think it's called 7TV Voyage. I apologise if I've got that wrong. That's the Simbadi style one. It's the only one that I've not really paid any attention to yet, but I'm definitely looking to in the future. So hopefully you like it. As always, the links and stuff are in the description below, so you can check those out. And yeah, so here's the interview in its entirety. There was no swearing either, so I didn't have to bring anything out. See, I'm getting better. Check. Right, so we're good to go. So I'm going to introduce, obviously I'm here with Karl. Is that correct?
That's right, hello.
Yep, it's Karl from Crooked Dice. And we're talking about 7TV and the sort of spin-offs around 7TV, because there's a couple, I believe. But we'll get into it. So firstly, obviously, hi. Usually when I start, I like to find out kind of how you got into the hobby, whether it was something that you kind of... A lot of people go from role-playing and then into miniatures, so do you want to give us a little bit of kind of information about how you got into where we are now?
Yeah, I'd always been interested in kind of fantasy and science fiction stuff as a kid. 1977 did a lot of damage to me with Star Wars coming out, and from then on I was kind of interested in anything with that, and was kind of a big comics reader as well, as were some of my friends. And one of their dads ran a game of D&D for us in there.
Hello?
On a holiday when he bought, I think it was the yellow basic D&D set.
Yeah.
And we played that. We played Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh, which was a great lizard man kind of again kind of battle back in the day. And I liked that, and we continued playing for years afterwards. But the bit that I liked was the handful of little metal figures that he had with it. What are these? These are quite good. And kind of from there, that part of the hobby was the thing that always interested me. We played in a role-playing group, and we played Warhammer. It was at the first games day when they released Rogue Trader 40k.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And bought the hardback and a box of Placky Space Marines, I think. But I don't know. I must admit, I've never played it in all that time, in all as many versions. But yeah, it was always the miniatures that we liked, and we'd kind of, me and my friends back in the old Gen Con days when it was down in Camp Sands, would run Marvel Superheroes. Kind of miniature games, miniature battles.
Oh, nice.
From figures that we converted and stuff. So I'd always been kind of that part of the gaming and the people playing part of the hobby for years and years and years.
Yeah. So with regards to, obviously, Crooked Dice, I first found out about Crooked Dice through the Doctor Who stuff. That used to be on the website. When was it that you kind of took the leap from going to just being interested in it to I've kind of got my own idea and I want to move forward with it?
There used to be Graham Dawson. The two of us were Crooked to start off with. I've been on my own for about a year now. But Graham wrote a fan-based Doctor Who miniatures game. With it, and I got in contact with him, and it turns out that we both like Doctor Who. We were both graphic designers, and we both like war games. So we had a lot of kind of mutual interests there, and I wrote lots of material and supported stuff for that as kind of all sort of free PDFs. And I talked to him about doing something commercially, and I'd run 7TV actually as a role-playing game for the same group of friends that used to war game with me.
Yeah.
I'm losing track, but probably in the 90s, sometime, or maybe the early 2000s, with the kind of conceit that you're all TV stars living in a TV show. So we'd sort of, rather than just thinking about it as just one sole setting like Doctor Who or Avengers, why not be able to apply all aspects of kind of TV action adventure, whether that's the Sweeney or Buck Rogers or Doctor Who or whatever it might be. So the kind of a 70s 80s setting.
Yeah.
So you could play any action adventure kind of film or TV show that you thought, yeah, that would make a good game, give you the ability to be able to play that on the tabletop is what we were trying to do with that. So we started to release a few miniatures with that, and 7TV in its first edition was a kind of a skirmish, the same kind of underlying rules that Graham had used in the Doctor Who Miniatures game.
Yes.
With the kind of the RPG elements that I brought to it from the previous version of it, I'd say, and it was okay. There was a few kind of uneasy. There was a little bit of friction on the kind of as two of those things met, but people quite liked the mix between the two. I've always said I've never been a particularly good war gamer, and I'm not a particularly good role player, but that sort of
middle ground
in between, is the thing that I kind of quite like. And it seemed that there were other people that liked that kind of approach as well, and I think we've probably seen it a little bit more in the last few years, as well as other people kind of realise there's a nice middle ground that they can play in as well.
I mean, definitely. I mean, when I got into the hobby, it was around about sort of 94, 95-ish. When I actually started buying my own models, I'd had Hero Quest and things like that beforehand. I loved Hero Quest. It was an amazing game. You got all the expansions and stuff, and it just took me into my own little world. I was like a Lord of the Rings fan growing up as a kid, so it was like the next level for me. And then Games Workshop was obviously the next step after that. But so when I got into it, there was obviously Necromunda, and then Mordheim came after that, and Gorka Morka and things. So they kind of had that RPG element there, and then it disappeared for a long time, especially in sort of the mainstream side of the hobby. You know, Games Workshop, Privateer Press, even Weird and stuff like that. But it's creeping back in now, and it's something that, like yourself, I wouldn't say I'm like a competitive wargamer, and RPG-wise, we tend to mess around quite a lot when we do roleplay sessions.
Doesn't everyone?
Yeah, but when you get that nice middle ground, I like the visuals of the miniatures, and I love painting and stuff, so I guess in that sense, sort of, I fit in that same group as yourself, really, where sort of the middle ground is just that perfect ground for us.
It's something that I've always kind of liked. It's the miniature part of it and the terrain particularly that I'm a bit of a sucker for. But having that narrative element to it, I mean, I've never really played at clubs. I always played with a group of friends, and we always kind of played the genre that we were doing, even if it was to the detriment of our characters or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I kind of quite like that sensibility. To it, so we did that. Now I will admit that with the second edition that we did, we said it's a skirmish game at heart, and kind of dialed back a little bit on some of those RPG elements, but they're still all there. So I think what we found is that people create their own kind of settings for it with what they've got. And that's the idea. It's a very open system in that regard.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we played a game last night, and actually the video's just gone up online today. And we were doing, it was, my friend Sparks was using Shiva, and I was using my apes again. And so we sort of came up with a narrative with regards to it. But because it was more of a teaching video, we kind of left that out. It kind of ended up on the cutting room floor, which was a bit of a shame. But I think the way the characters and stuff are portrayed and the cards and things, and how everything's kind of just that's a placeholder card almost. Like it says scientist, but
it's very much archetypes in there. I have quite a lot of conversations with people who are coming new to the game. Oh, but you haven't got a model or profile for that model, and I'm kind of saying, well, you don't have to. We're not prescriptive about that at all. I've used I've used the same model as both a kind of a co-star and also an extra, depending on the ratings that I've got and the type of game that I want to play. So it's very, very flexible for you to kind of use what you want. And by all means, use Crooked Dice models. But there's lots of other lovely things out there. If you want to play a different type of game, but just use those archetypes. A flamboyant agent can be James Bond or Austin Powers or Jason Bourne or anything in between, depending on the sort of tone that you want to play.
Of course, and I mean that fits in with sort of the role player side of things as well a bit. And that's something that we particularly like. I mean, obviously our channel covers a lot of different games, probably far too many, because anytime something new comes out, I'm like a magpie and I'm off. But this game, it was something that when we first saw the rumblings of the second edition of, we kind of had our eye on to one side, and then just I don't know. As we heard more about it, it was kind of we got pulled more into it, and it's pretty much a bit of an obsession for like my group, and we have a podcast group, and so the two of us kind of mesh together and game together and sort of bounce ideas off, and it's kind of our big obsession at the minute. And we have like a little Facebook group where we spend most of our day when we're at work bored just going, look at this model, this could be X and Y. And
there's a lot of that. There's also another guy, I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong now because I've never had to say it out loud before, but Jorge Robles, I'm guessing there. But he's created a little card building app as well, so that with a basic profile card, you can change the picture and change some of the settings and the text and bits and pieces, and that seems to have had a real kind of impact on the number of people playing the game.
Yes, I believe,
because they can tailor it now to He-Man or A-Team or whatever, whatever they like. Whereas we can't use those terms.
Of course you can't. I mean, that was what I used to create the apes, because you can, obviously it puts the basic profile in, then you can like drop out a skill and put that in.
Exactly.
And then with your rulebook, you can just work out the points value. But no, I think that's really, really good. And as I said, it's nice that obviously you sort of, even though it isn't something you do, you give a shout out the fact that it's not something you can use, but it's there. Whereas obviously other companies necessarily don't want people making third-party stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm still a gamer like everybody else, and there's the nice thing about it that I've had is there's just a great community around it, and it seems daft to be kind of prescriptive that it's only me, so there's only so much that I can do.
Of course.
People have got much better ideas than I have, and bless them, I've got they invest the time to kind of build them. So I think all power to it, really.
No, you definitely.
It only helps grow the community. That's it.
So in terms of it, you don't do any of the sculpting side of things, do you? You're purely rules and cards, etc.
I wish I could, but I haven't got the skill or the eyes anymore to be able to do it. No, so all of that work with some really, really brilliant people. Been very, very lucky in there. We started off with Ian Mountain. In fact, Kev White from Hasselfree sculpted the very first miniature, 2 miniatures that we did.
Yeah, we use a lot of Hasselfree. We really like their stuff.
Oh, they're beautiful. I think he probably thought we were mad at the time, and nothing was ever going to come of it. I would have thought. But him and Sally were really, really supportive, and Sally particularly gave me loads of advice on kind of what to do basically.
Yeah,
we were coming to it new, really. So that was quite good. But yeah, Ian Mountain. Bill Thornhill's done some bits and pieces. Andrew May, probably the main sculptor that I use is Ernst Weingart, who lives in Latvia, he's amazing, and started off in Putty, moved up to ZBrush now, and he's a kind of digital sculptor, and he just does amazing work. But yeah, and Ian Karl started working with recently as well. So yeah, lots of really, really great people. So I've probably forgotten someone there, so apologies if I have. But
no, I mean, that was one of the things, because obviously when you first come to the site and stuff, and obviously all the models are listed, I've now noticed from speaking to you a few times and things, I'm like, I like this model, and you're like, oh, that's done by such and such.
Yeah.
And like a couple of them have obviously got their own websites and things like that. Like that's how I found out about Lucid Eye Publications, because obviously their apes are more like the more modern style of Planet of the Apes films. And although I have such a soft spot for the originals, there's less of a model range.
That's right, yeah.
So I sort of that thing of I'd have to do a lot of converting, or these guys are all ready to go. And then obviously I've realised there was a game attached to it as well, and I'm looking into that. But I think that's really good, because it's not only obviously is it helping your game, but it's helping a lot of these other designers and things like that.
Yeah, well, I've always liked Steve Saller's work, who's Lucid Eye for a long while, and he sculpted a few bits and pieces for me recently as well, which have been fantastic. But I think he's got his work cut out at the moment with all the stuff that Lucid Eye are doing. They've got loads of stuff coming out, and the Elf King stuff that they're working with Rick Priestley with. So I think they're going to be busy.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what's next for Soul Crooked Dice? Because obviously second edition's out. Where does it go from here?
Well, second edition is, how long has it been out now? Just 18 months, 2 years?
I was going to say, it's got to be coming up to 2 years.
I've just done a reprint of the box set, because I owned and on about it, but it was like kind of leaving one of your children, really. I wanted to kind of keep that in print, so we've done a second print one of that. That will probably be the last one there. But with first edition, we had a couple of kind of spin-offs. We had a zombie TV,
of course, yeah,
which was kind of a horror setting, and that was really popular. And also Seventh Voyage, which was a kind of a historical fantasy, so inspired by the films of Harry Housen.
Yeah.
In there. So we were experimenting with other bits and pieces. So we're going to start slowly to convert some of that over into for 7TV. So for the game, the next boxed set, so it will be standalone. You won't need to have kind of the original 7TV for it, but it's 7TV Apocalypse. So this is looking at all of the original stuff that was in Zombie TV, but broadening it out across all of kind of post-apocalyptic TV and kind of film sources in there. So you can play everything from kind of 1950s atomic horror with giant ants and 50-foot women and that kind of thing, right the way through the spectrum of, you know, Romero and Walking Dead and Terminator, and even some aspects of kind of Hell on Earth with a kind of supernatural, as in the program Supernatural,
yes,
that
of
kind
course.
of angels and demons kind of thing. In there, so it's a real broad spectrum. Even Thundar the Barbarian, if you want to play that. It's got archetypes for those kind of characters going across it. So there's 100 new profiles in there, and then the main addition to that, you can't do a post-apocalyptic game and not have some kind of Mad Max vehicle combat.
Of course.
So there's a whole new section for that, which is just being play tested at the moment. So that'll have some add-on vehicle combat rules in it, which will port straight back over to 7TV, the core game, if you want to.
Of course, that was actually something I was going to say. Will it sort of be backward compatible, as it were? So
yeah. I didn't want to for the actual vehicle combat. I didn't really want a completely different set of rules and system mechanics for it. So it very much draws on what's already there. And as I say, should be able to use for the main game. So that's going well at the moment. We're developing a small range of miniatures to go with that, and also some vehicles to go with that. So we've got some nice buggies, which I hope to have on sale for Salute. I've just had delivery this morning of the truck, which is a kind of a bigger version, and an Interceptor style one is just being finished off. I just came off the phone to Steve, who's working on that at the moment, plus a few other bits and pieces, some motorcycles. So kind of 5 main vehicle types will be with that you can then kind of pimp and add all your kind of add-ons to, whether it's your machine guns or your roll cage or your super wide wheels or whatever you like, with the ability to kind of build your own vehicle within the rules as well.
Right, of course, yeah.
I always liked old things like kind of Car Wars and that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
So it's the same kind of light touch as 7TV. It's not too rules heavy. It's meant to be fun, cinematic style play, rather than too technical.
No, of course.
That's just what we do.
I mean, that was one thing we were saying last night when we were doing the filming is I would find that this game, and when we play it, because some of our group are very serious tournament gamers, some aren't, we find that you can't play this game in a sort of serious tournament heavy kind of way, because the plot point, the cards, they just make it too brilliant and silly. Like we flipped over a card and it's the blast template and some of your models get set on fire. And obviously my guys are apes, so it was like the nylon set on fire and this bunch of 70s apes, because maybe one was having a cigarette between takes and they bust into flames and his mates.
And we've always kind of taken that approach. It's I'm of an age now, and but you haven't got a lot of time, so if you're going to have a game in the evening, you need it to want to be kind of quick and fun. And just have a bit of a laugh with it, and that's very much where 7TV is pitched.
I think
tournament games probably not as much. You can play a campaign in it. It's not beyond the ken of anyone to kind of link 2 or 3 different games together. In fact, we've even got some rules for that in one of the supplements that we did, and there will be some campaign setting stuff in Apocalypse as well, actually, which just builds on that a little bit more. So you can kind of you can develop your cast just a little bit more between games.
Yes.
But again, quite simple, light rules. There's not too much number crunching or bookkeeping to be done.
But no, I mean, sort of where we're at with regards to it now, we're really excited to sort of see how it's progressing. And obviously now you've mentioned that Apocalypse is coming out. We're very zombie heavy. We cover The Walking Dead and Project Z and a couple of role play zombie ones. So we're very heavily into the zombie ones. So that was something we were actually looking at anyway. We were looking at, is it called a 7 Zombie? Yeah, 7 Zombie TV. We were looking at that anyway. So to know that it's actually going to be kind of bundled together is really, really interesting.
Yes, I think, as I say, it was quite popular. I think there's probably more zombie gamers out there than there are kind of niche 60 TV players.
Yes.
So it seemed to be quite popular when we did it, and I always quite liked it as a kind of as a setting. Even though I was kind of born in the 70s, I'm more of a child of the 80s, so that kind of that bad VHS kind of horror stuff was it was more what I kind of grew up on.
Yeah, of course.
So that's a new setting. I'm also working with Edge Hill University, and they run a creative writing course there, which incorporates some modules actually on games writing, and doing that. And the second and third year students also have a project every year where they want to work with a commercial company to get some experience of kind of what it's like working in the industry.
Of course.
And so they're working at the moment on adapting 7 TV into a pulp setting. So we'll have 7 TV pulp in 2019 as a good kind of as a third box set as well, and that's shaping up really nicely. So that will be in the same way that 7 TV is for kind of 60s. This will be for those good kind of black and white cliffhanger things of the 30s.
Yes,
with,
of course.
You know, Rocket Man and Indiana Jones and The Shadow and all and everything in between. So that will be another set after that.
That's cool. So, obviously you do cover a lot of 60s, 70s TV, and there's obviously other eras as well. And obviously they're not licensed versions, so like there's the generic soldiers that look kind of like Captain Scarlet's people.
Inspired by.
Indeed, inspired by is the term we're going to use. Is it definitely something we're going to see a lot more of, or do you think you'll be sort of branching out into sort of more unique style?
It's eclectic, I think, the approach. I often get berated by customers that say, you started on this and now you're doing these other ones. And it's we try and do stuff that supports the game, but also we try and do figures that you can't get anywhere else.
Yes, of course.
And sometimes it's just a whim. I think that would be quite nice to do. So there's a little bit of that goes into it as well. But yes, we're definitely still supporting 7 TV. We're going to support Apocalypse when it comes out a little bit as well. But there's already lots of apocalyptic stuff out there anyway, so it will just be, a
kind of a rule set with a few bits.
Yeah, I think so. In there, we've already got a few, and there'll be a few more coming. But yeah, 7 TV. We've still got the program guides. We've published kind of 3 so far, which have come out as you only need a deck of cards to kind of play that.
Of course.
But they've been published in a guide, and I've got another one coming up now, which is called Children of the Fields, which is essentially a folk horror setting. So, Wicker Man, Owl Service, that kind of stuff, if that means anything kind of to you at all.
Oh, definitely it does. I mean, I grew up on those kind of sort of, not horror, but horror-esque movies,
all of that kind of stuff. That's kind of always stayed with me, and that kind of wrote itself. But that's a cast that's going to be about 20 plus miniatures and a new deck, a program guide for that, and I'm going to dabble and experiment with Kickstarter in May with that, because I want to do the 7 TV Apocalypse game as a Kickstarter, and I want to kind of cut my teeth on a
and see if it works on something.
Just work out, well, not that there'll be any bugs, but just to find my feet with a smaller, easier project. So we already get everything sculpted. 90% of it has already been mastered, and I've been kind of saving them up for a while to do that. So that's got some kind of master beasts, and you've already got the scarecrows, and some vicious looking kind of Morris dancers, and various weird bits and pieces going on with that. So that should be quite good. So that's coming in May. So that'll be before Apocalypse, which is the autumn. Really.
Yes. So, I mean, you've got a lot coming up in quite a short space of time when you think, obviously, we're, middle of March? Well, where are we now? Start of March? Oh no, middle of March. I was right. Yeah.
And then we got Salute in between that as well.
Of course, yeah. So you don't like to. I mean, is this? Do you have another job as well as this, or is this kind of your full-time project at the minute?
This has been full-time for a couple of years now,
yeah.
it took us about sort of 8 years. Well, Crooked's been officially kind of running for about 8 years.
Yeah.
In there, but we were doing bits and pieces a couple of years before that as well. So it took a while to get to this point. Really.
I can imagine. So I'd say, because obviously I speak to a lot of game designers who are doing a lot of indie projects and smaller projects, and it tends to be that they have a full-time job, and this is kind of what they do the rest of the time, and don't sleep a lot.
No, I went through that for quite a while. Luckily, there were two of us, and we could kind of share out some of that responsibility. But now it's just me, so it's good. On some of the rules bits and pieces, I've worked with other people. So there are other program guides coming up. There's one on the Argonauts, which is our kind of mad evil scientist in this kind of robot faction. So that is worked on as well. There's released some miniatures this week for Grandville, which is it's a graphic novel by Brian Talbot, who did Luther Arkwright. And he's got about 4 graphic novels, and my friend's got a license for those Ocelot games. Yeah. There'll be a program guide that's coming out for that as well. So yeah, there's plenty going on.
Brilliant. So obviously you just put up a couple of free program guides quite recently, didn't you? For, I believe it was the Turtles and Scooby-Doo. Did you work on those rules as well, or are they ones done by other people?
Yeah, they kind of other fan-based things that we thought, these are good, but also that demonstrate the breadth of what you can play with the game. That was really what was behind those. Look, you can play anything with this. So, and there's those two are kind of out there as a freebie download.
Yes. Because I know my son's quite obsessed with both Ghostbusters and the Turtles. So when he saw the Turtles ones, he was really interested. And then he saw there was a Ghostbusters one as well. And that kind of drew him in. And before that, he's only really played sort of 40k and then board games and stuff he plays. So he's now kind of looking at this in the same way that I was looking at the 70s stuff. Like, oh, that looks nice. I might want to get in on that. So I like that it hits sort of a lot of demographics as well.
Yes, as the archetypes are in there are, they stem out of the kind of the 30s really, and then span right up to present day. So you can play any genre or modern period that you want to, and we've got some sci-fi bits as well that are out there as well. So it doesn't take it much to adapt.
Of course, I mean, because if you've got the character archetype action hero can be any era. You could, from Arnold Schwarzenegger in sort of my heroes, 80s and 90s, all the way back to sort of your James Dean types and things like that. Yes. And it all works, and they're all action heroes, and you just use the model that best represents it, wouldn't you? So.
Yeah, hopefully, that's what people are doing, play whatever they like. So.
I see that a lot, actually, in the group forum on Facebook, where there's a lot of people just go in, it can be anything you want. And some people get it really quickly, and other people struggle with it a bit.
I think if people have come from things where they're, from games or settings where there's army lists, or it's very prescriptive, some of the bigger companies.
Yes.
Nothing against it, but if you get a GW model, is you play with the models that they produce.
Yeah.
And that's not really the approach that we've ever taken, really. So sometimes it's difficult for new people coming to the game to kind of quite get their head around this. Just feel there's probably a bit more freedom in the system and the approach to it than others.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, for a lot of people, and I know at first when I was looking at bits of it, when you've got the picture on the card, and you're like, well, that's not my model. But luckily, I like to convert and proxy and things like that anyway. So you can grasp it quite quickly. But like you said, if you come from a Games Workshop specifically background, where a Space Marine has to be a Space Marine, and if you pulled out something and said this is a Space Marine, and it wasn't, you would get told to put it away. In the most essential terms.
It's most games, one way or other, have a fictional background or setting that everything kind of fits into, whereas kind of as doesn't have that. It says you can play any setting that you like. So, you know, normally that fiction comes with its own characters and its own factions and stuff. Whereas we've kind of tried to pitch it a bit of a kind of a level above that, and then just said no, it's genres of play rather than particular.
Yeah.
In particular. So.
Do you plan on bringing out any more? Like, obviously, there's the Shiva supplement, which they're like a specific pack, and they fit into like the 7TV universe that it touches on in the book, in the sort of the rules a little bit. Do you plan on bringing out more of those, or?
There's quite a few that are in development. As I say, there's the Children of the Field will be exactly that. That will be a 7TV cast, but with a kind of more of a horror kind of feel to it. The Argonauts, which is a kind of a mad scientist and his robots. There's the Beat, which are our kind of police faction, so Sweden professional.
Of course, yeah.
Kind of, that kind of feel to it as well, and all of those are kind of in various stages of development at the moment. There's also Time Lost as well, which is a slight reworking of what we did for first edition, but it's essentially the best way to explain it, a bit time tunnel, really, where a group of heroes get lifted out and dropped into some weird kind of limits of lots of different kind of time zones. So that's the opportunity for you to play, you know, cowboys or musketeers or knights or spacemen, kind of all in one. It's almost setting in its own right, and that's actually written as well. It's just getting the time to kind of lay them out, get them out, and ideally have legs for some of the some of the things as well.
Yeah, well, I'm apparently being summoned by my son. He's just come down and he's like, nope, no one else will do. You need to feed me now. Because apparently one dinner isn't enough. He's a growing hobbit. So I'm going to end it here for now, Carl. But I definitely would like to get some more conversations on the go at some point, especially as you're coming closer to getting some stuff released.
Yes.
And we'd love to sort of promote the Kickstarter a little bit for you, because Kickstarters can be an iffy one. Sometimes they go really well, sometimes they can't.
Yeah, I've done 2 or 3 kind of homegrown ones. Myself, just promoting it through the site. I'm really doing this one to see whether it reaches more people than what I do just with my own kind of advertising, because it's a platform and community in its own right, really. So
of course, yeah.
So if it doesn't work, then I don't guarantee I'll use it again in the future. But, I'm gonna give it a go and see how we get on with this one, because I'm in a position to kind of do something with it and deliver it quickly afterwards as well.
Perfect. Well, definitely keep us informed. And obviously, as I said, if you get the chance, watch some of the playthroughs we're going to put up of 7TV.
Yeah, I will do. Any links or bits and pieces, send them through, and I'll promote them on the website and then various places. So.
Brilliant. No, well, it's been a genuine pleasure chatting to you. I probably could have ended up talking for another good hour just on which old 70s TV shows you were interested in, but I tried to keep it about the game.
That's all right. Which chat.
Absolutely. Well, take care, man. Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye now. So yeah, that was Karl there. Said just wanted you guys to hear him. Check out the website. I'm gonna go feed my son, because as you heard, the kid needs to eat. He's a growing hobbit. Thank you guys very much for watching this, and take care as always. Thank you. Bye now. Oh, and pray to the dice gods, hope it does. Pray to the dice gods and hope they smile upon you. Whoever thought that I would get tongue-tied from talking too much? Talking's like my jam. Anyway, bye guys.